What if you could slow your own heartbeat in under a minute? No device, no medication, just the sound of your own voice. It sounds like mysticism. But in laboratories around the world, researchers have watched it happen on hospital monitors. When a person chants, something measurable shifts inside the chest. The heart begins to follow the rhythm of the voice, and the brain follows the heart. Today, we are going to trace exactly how that happens, from the anatomy of a single nerve, to the physics of a vibrating vocal cord, to the surprising truth about how many repetitions it really takes to change a human brain. Let us start with the nerve that runs the whole system. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in your body. It leaves the brainstem and wanders down through the neck, past the larynx, into the chest, and the gut. It is the main cable of your parasympathetic nervous system, the network that slows your heart, deepens your breathing, and tells your body it's safe. Researchers sometimes describe its effect on the heart as a vagal brake. When vagal activity rises, the heart slows. When it falls, the heart speeds up. And here's the critical detail. Every time you exhale, your vagus nerve naturally applies that brake. Your heart rate rises slightly as you breathe in and falls as you breathe out. Scientists call this respiratory sinus arrhythmia, and it is one of the healthiest rhythms your body produces. The strength of that rhythm is measured as heart rate variability, or HRV. High variability means a flexible, responsive nervous system. Low variability is linked to chronic stress, anxiety, and cardiovascular risk. So the question becomes, can you deliberately strengthen that rhythm? In the year 2001, a physiologist named Luciano Bernardi answered that question in the British Medical Journal. He brought 23 healthy adults into the lab and asked them to recite the Ave Maria prayer in Latin, or a yoga mantra. Both traditions deliver a phrase in roughly 10 seconds, and without any instruction, every subject's breathing slowed from about 14 breaths per minute to almost exactly 6. 6 breaths per minute is not an arbitrary number. It matches a natural oscillation inside your cardiovascular system called the Mayer wave, the rhythm of your baroreflex, the reflex that stabilizes blood pressure. When breathing locks onto that frequency, the two rhythms amplify each other. Bernardi measured the result directly. Heart rate variability climbed. Baroreflex sensitivity rose significantly. The chant was acting as a pacemaker for the heart. And this is not just a prayer effect. In 2022, researchers publishing in Frontiers in Physiology studied people chanting Om at a slow 3 cycles per minute, even slower than breathing. Something remarkable appeared on the monitors. The cardiovascular system began generating its own oscillations at 6 cycles per minute, riding on top of the slower chant. The heart was not merely following the breath. It was synchronizing to the rhythm of the spoken sound itself. That is the core finding. Repetitive vocal rhythm gives the heart a beat to lock onto. Now let us follow that rhythm upward into the brain. In 2011, a research team in India placed experienced chanters inside an fMRI scanner and asked them to chant Om. The images showed significant deactivation across the limbic system, including the amygdala, the brain's alarm center. When the same subjects made a control sound, a sustained hiss, the effect did not appear. Same breath, same vocal effort, completely different brain response. The researchers noted something striking. The pattern of deactivation resembled what doctors see with vagus nerve stimulation, a medical treatment for depression and epilepsy. Their hypothesis: the vibration of the chant may be engaging vagal pathways that pass right through the throat and ear. A 2018 follow-up study went deeper, mapping how brain regions talk to each other during Om chanting. It found reduced signaling from emotional control centers into the amygdala, as if the volume knob on the brain's fear circuitry had been turned down. Meanwhile, EEG studies of chanting meditation show the electrical signature shifting with practice. Brain activity moves away from the fast, scattered beta waves of anxious waking thought toward the slower alpha and theta rhythms associated with calm, absorbed attention. It is not an instant switch, and different mantras produce different patterns. But the direction is consistent. Rhythmic, repetitive sound organizes the brain's electrical activity. And then there is the vibration itself, which turns out to be medicine of a very physical kind. When you hum or chant the sound that ends om, your vocal cords oscillate at roughly 130 cycles per second. In 2002, Swedish researchers Eddie Weitzberg and John Lundberg made a remarkable discovery. Humming increases the nitric oxide in your nasal passages by up to 15-fold. The oscillating airflow ventilates your sinuses, flushing out this vital signaling molecule. Nitric oxide widens blood vessels, fights microbes, and improves oxygen uptake. A follow-up study found that humming at about 130 Hz produces the maximum release. And here's the beautiful convergence. Acoustic analysis of trained chanters shows the male om fundamental sits at almost exactly 131 Hz. The most chanted syllable in human history vibrates at precisely the frequency that ventilates your sinuses most efficiently. Physics lets us see this power directly. Place sand on a metal plate and make it vibrate with sound, and the sand leaps into intricate geometric patterns. These are called Chladni figures, first documented in 1787. Sound is not abstract. It is a physical force that organizes matter. Your body, which is mostly water and soft tissue, is no exception. Now, you may have heard bolder claims that 528 Hz, the so-called miracle frequency, can trigger instant cardiac coherence. Here's what the science actually says. In 2018, a small pilot study of 9 people found that listening to music at 528 Hz lowered cortisol and raised oxytocin compared to standard tuning. Intriguing. But 9 people is 9 people, and no one has replicated it. The honest verdict: there is no proven magic frequency. What is proven, again and again, is the rhythm. Slow, repetitive vocalization at about 6 cycles per minute. That is what synchronizes the heart. Which brings us to the question of repetition. Traditions encode it everywhere. The 108 beads of the mala, the decades of the rosary. You may have heard that 21 repetitions is the biological threshold for change. Scientists have searched for that threshold, and it does not exist. The 21 repetition rule is a myth, but what researchers found instead is far more interesting. The physiological reset begins on the very first repetition. Bernardi's subjects showed cardiovascular synchronization within a single session. Your nervous system does not make you wait 3 weeks for relief. The lock-in effect, where your internal rhythms synchronize to the external pulse of the chant, starts immediately. What repetition builds is permanence. University College London tracked people forming new habits and found that automaticity took a median of 66 days of daily practice. Each repetition added a little less than the one before, on a curve of diminishing returns. The first chant changes your state. The 100th day of chanting changes your baseline, and that may be the deepest lesson here. Ancient traditions did not have heart rate monitors or brain scanners, but they built practices that deliver the right rhythm, the right vibration, and the right repetition to regulate the human nervous system. Modern instruments are only now catching up to what chanters have felt for 5,000 years. Your voice is not just how you communicate. It is a built-in instrument of regulation, wired directly into the nerve that calms your heart, the molecules that open your blood vessels, and the brain waves that quiet your mind, and it is available to you right now on your very next breath. If this video changed how you think about your own voice, like this video, subscribe to the Science of Wellness, and share it with someone who could use a calmer nervous system. Your support keeps this channel exploring the science inside ancient wisdom.